Ointments are for external application but differ from creams in that they have a greasy base. Ointments may be made by fusion. The oily constituents are melted in descending order of melting point. Add the ingredient with the highest melting point first. Note the temperature to ensure that no overheating occurs. Add the next ingredient and stir. Now add the ingredient with the next lowest melting point. Stir again to ensure even mixing. Once incorporated, remove the evaporating basin from the heat and note the temperature. Now add the ingredient with the lowest melting point and stir the product until homogeneous. The homogeneous molten product. And leave to cool. Often we need to incorporate powders or liquids into ointment bases. If there is more than one powder to be incorporated, the powders need to be mixed in a mortar using the doubling up method. These powders are of equal volume and therefore just need lightly mixing. Ensure any powder on the walls of the mortar is scraped down. Producing these well mixed powders. The fatty bases also need to be mixed together. This can be achieved by fusion. The highest melting point ingredient is added first. Note the temperature to ensure that no overheating occurs. Now add the next base ingredient. And stir to incorporate. The second ingredient is incorporated by stirring and removed from the heat. Stir until homogeneous. The pre-mixed powders are transferred to a glass tile and levigated with the minimum amount of molten fatty base. A considerable shearing force needs to be applied to avoid a gritty product. Return the powder, fatty base mixture to the evaporating basin. Stir until homogeneous, reheating if necessary. Once homogeneous, the ointment may be removed from the heat source and stirred gently until cooled. Once the ointment has cooled sufficiently, any liquids may now be added by stirring until homogeneous. Alternatively, mix the powders in the mortar as before, place the two fatty bases on the tile and triturate them together using the principle of doubling up. Bring the bases together and leave as a homogeneous mass. Levitate the pre-prepared powders and base together. Again, considerable shearing force should be applied to avoid a gritty product. Gradually incorporate the remaining base by trituration, always remembering the basic principle of doubling up when mixing. When the powders have been incorporated, any liquids are triturated with the ointment on the tile. Make a well in the centre of the ointment mass and pour in a small amount of liquid. Score the ointment with the spatula to help incorporate the liquid. Then gently fold the liquid into the base to avoid splashing. A well mixed product is produced, ready to be packed as for creams.